54 participants. That means we're missing around 15 students. Okay, but it's okay. I'm gonna just proceed with what I'm planning to do for this week. Okay, so for today's lecture, we're just gonna proceed with what we have left behind as our last class. Okay, so we're just gonna proceed with the function of the AutoCAD, especially in the 3D modeling function. Okay, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna straight away continue with what we have left. Okay, I believe last week I already explained about the basic fundamental principle. How are you going to construct a 3D object using AutoCAD? Okay, so basically based on that, you can start do your own design. Okay, do your own 3D modeling object, whatever object that you have in mind, or you can just go through with the document that already uploaded and you learn. I think the name of the document is part drawing exercise. You can just try, okay, do all the examples in there, okay, see whether you can do it or not. Okay, I believe based on the lecture last week, you can do some of the examples or exercises in there. So for this week, I'm just going to proceed a bit more, okay, a bit more in terms of using what about the function that are already available here in AutoCAD, especially uh, in terms of constructing a 3D object in this modeling ribbons, as you can see in here. Okay. For the basic fundamental principle that I already explained last week, that means you can construct whatever object is based on the geometrical drawing, geometrical 2D drawing. That means whatever shape that you want to do, you can do it, okay, using that particular approach. But in AutoCAD, they already provided you with some of the basic shapes that you can construct directly using this function. As you can see in this modeling ribbons up here on your top left-hand side of your AutoCAD interface, as you can see, there is like a box, okay? If you click the arrow down there, you can see box, cylinder, cone, sphere, pyramid, wedge, and torus. This is all the basic shapes of that you can construct or build by using this particular function already provided in AutoCAD. Okay, so for this lecture, probably we're going to go through one by one, but not in depth. Probably one or some of the most frequently used function in this available function in AutoCAD. Okay, so firstly, we're going to go through the box. I believe all you guys know what the box means. Okay, so okay, before I forget, make it a habit once you open your AutoCAD, you already select whatever workspace you want to work on. For this class, we choose a 3D modeling, and then don't forget to select your units. Okay, make sure your units in millimeters. After you've done that, then you can start doing whatever object you want to construct using AutoCAD. Okay, so now we're going to use this box function. Okay, first, I just want to change my view in here. As you can see, my workspace view is still in the 2D plane and X and Y. I can just go to this compass on the right hand side, top right hand side, and click this home button here. So basically, this is what the default view of the 3D workspace that we have. Okay, when I click box in here, okay, as you can see, as you can read in the comment bar below there, they're going to ask you specify first corner or center. Basically, the function is basically for you to construct like the same thing, the geometrical object. But the box is basically a rectangle or square, right? So the function is the same function as you draw using a rectangular function in this drawing ribbons. Okay, first you specify the first corner, and then you specify the opposite corner, and then they're going to ask you specify height, then you specify the height. automatically they will build a box for you. Okay, but this is like the fastest way, or how this function works. But if you click this box function as well, you can see whether you can specify the first corner or you can choose a center. Okay, that means they're going to detect the center of the geometrical object, a 2D object on the XY plane that you want to construct, the center of the rectangle or the square that you want to build. Okay, if you click center, they're going to ask you specify center. For example, if this is my center, and then the function is going to ask you too whether you want it to be cube or length. Cube means that all the size or all the dimension of width, length, and height has the same dimension, right? So if you want to choose a cube, just click a cube here. Okay, I switch my auto mode on. It's easier for me to get it into perspective. And then I can just simply specify the length. Okay, because for the cube, the length of all these width, length, and also the height is going to be the same. So we just need to enter one value, right? So for example, if I enter the value of 10, then they're going to build a cube for me with the dimension, the width, the length, and the height with 10 millimeters. Okay, as simple as that. But if you, for example, if you choose the function of length, that means you want to enter a specific length for your width, length, and height. Okay, click length here, specify the length, the first length on the x-axis, for example, is 15. The length on my y-axis, for example, is 10, and also 10, 10, and also, for example, my height is 20. Okay, so this is what we can come up with using this function of box. Okay, instead of you can just construct one type of box, basically you can construct many types of boxes. Okay, just follow whatever mentioned here in the command bar. Follow the command, enter the appropriate value that is required for AutoCAD, and you can get whatever you want based on that. Okay, so it's very simple if you use this function of box. Okay, then we can go through the function of cylinder. I believe all you guys know what the cylinder means. Okay, so if you choose cylinder, as you can see, the first instruction or command that the AutoCAD wants from you is basically the same command as we want to draw a circle, right? Because the basic geometrical drawing for cylinder is a circle. Okay, you can either specify the center point, or you can use a 3 points, 2 point, tangent, radius, or elliptical. It's the same function if you use the function of circle, right? So for example, this is my center of my circle, and then I can enter whether the radius or diameter. It's up to me, or it's up to you guys, which one you want to choose it. For example, if I want to construct a circle with a radius of 5, I can just enter the value of 5, press enter on my keyboard. Now, after that, I can key in the value of the height. Okay, I can just specify height, or I can specify the 2 points or axis endpoint. This is if you have any particular point that you want to start your cylinder dimension or not. Okay, for example, if my height is 10, then just enter the value of 10. Simple as that. Okay. Okay, so let's go on. Okay, box, cylinder, cone. Okay, cone is the same thing. The basic dimension of the cone is just a circle. That's why when you press a function of cone, the first command you have here is the same command if you want to construct a circle. Okay, specify center point or base, or 3 points, 2 point, tangent, radius, or elliptical. Okay, for example, I want to construct a cone with the base radius of 10, for example. So this is my circle. I enter the radius of 10, okay, and then I can enter the height. For example, 20. Okay. As you can see, I can construct a cone that has like a very sharp edge at the end. But you can also construct a cone using this cone function with a certain height, and you have like a certain radius for the top portion of the cone. You can do that as well. What you need to do is you use this function of cone, right? To specify the base of the cone, the dimension of the base. For example, I want to construct a cone with a radius of 10, the base radius of 10. And then for the height, instead of I specify the height, I can use this function top radius, right? If I click top radius here, now I specify the value of the top radius that I want to construct. For example, if my top radius is 5, and the amount of 5. Okay, so that I can have one option. Instead of having this cone with the sharp end at the top, I can have a cone with a certain amount of radius on the top. And then I can specify the height. For example, my height is 15. Enter the value of 15. Okay. So by using this function of cone, I can construct this kind of object as well. It's not limited to this like a default shape of the cone, but also the cone with a certain diameter or certain radius at the top edge of the cone as well. Okay. Okay. So that's for cone. I believe if you click the cone function in here, there's a lot more function. I'm not going to explain every single one of these because this is the same function that we learned before when we use the function of a circle. Okay, and then we click it, radius of the diameter, the same function if we use the function of circle. For example, if my radius is 2. Okay, in here you have 2 point, axis endpoint, and top radius. There's 3 more options in here. You can try each one of these. Okay, it's very straightforward, but I just am going to explain the one that you're going to use most frequently. Okay, in this class. Okay, okay, we already covered like a box, cylinder, and cone. And let's go for sphere. Sphere is very straightforward. I believe you all know what sphere means. Okay, sphere means like I don't know, the basic shape is still a circle. What I can see is like a 3D object of a circle, right? Okay, that's why when you click the function of sphere, the first instruction that the article wants from you, giving you specify center point, 3 point, 2 point, are the same function as circle. For example, if this is my center point, okay, I can just simply specify the radius or the meter. My radius is 10. I can just simply click 10. Okay, if you view it in this 2D wireframe view, this is what you're gonna this is what it's gonna look like. But if you change the view, they become like a conceptual. So it looks like a ball, right? So this is a basic function of sphere. It's very straightforward. Okay. Okay. Next. Let's move on from sphere to pyramid, right? Okay. When you use the function of pyramid, okay, as you can see in here, you can either specify center point of base or edge or sides. Okay. As a default, if you choose a center point, okay, the default in AutoCAD is going to construct a 4 sides pyramid, 4 side base pyramid. Okay. Okay, it's going to have like a the function is the same function as we use the function of polygon when we want to draw a geometrical drawing. Okay, right? So in here, okay, as you can see, you can specify the base radius or inscribe. I believe you already know what the inscribe and circumscribe means. All right, I already explained it when we do drafting and annotation before. Okay, if I choose a base, I enter the amount of the radius of the base. Okay, enter the amount of 10, for example. Okay, this is my base, and then I can just simply specify the height. For example, if my height is 30, right, then it's going to be a 30. Okay, so as a default, if you choose the function of pyramid, it's going to construct like a four-side base or square base of pyramid. But you can change that if you want to have like a pyramid that has more sides as the base. Okay, what you can just simply do is to click this function of pyramid. Okay, instead of specify center point, you can just choose sides here. Okay, as a default, it's a four sides. You can just enter the amount of sides that you want. For example, I want my pyramid to have 8 sides. Press the amount as 8, enter, and then I specify the base point. This is my base point. Okay, then they're going to ask me the same question, the base radius or inscribed, right? For example, if my base radius is 20, okay, then now I can specify the height or top radius. As you can see, the function here is the same function as we see when we use the function of a cone, right? I can construct a pyramid that have a certain radius on the top instead of a sharp or pointy top as the example that we did before. Okay, if I want to have like a certain radius at the top, I can just click a top radius here. Okay, for example, if I want my top radius to be 5, this is 5. Now I can specify the height of the pyramid. For example, if the height is 20. So this is basically the types of object I can construct using the function of pyramid. It's not limited to the what we call it as a general uh, shape of pyramid. We can construct, I believe, a lot more varieties of object by using the function of pyramid, right? If you want to look at this 3D object in the view, it looks like this, right? Okay, so basically the function of pyramid and the cone, it has some kind of similarities. Just the cone, the base of the cone, the shape is just a circle or elliptical, but for the pyramid is like the function of the polygon that we learned before in the drafting annotation or 2D drawing, right? You can choose like a 4 sides or 6 sides or 3 sides if you want to. Okay, as the base geometrical shape of the pyramid. Right? So let's move on. After the pyramid, we have the function of wedge, right? Function of wedge. Okay. I believe what is wedge in Malay? I'm not sure either what is the meaning of wedge in Malay. It's like some kind of like a ribs or an object that have a certain geometry and have a thickness, right? That's why we call it wedge. And then the specify, if you want to have like a further information about the function, you can just move your cursor and then just leave it there, and then you can have that kind of wedge. Okay, it's going to explain more about what is this function looks like. Okay, so and then when you use the function of wedge, you're going to ask to specify first corner or center. This is the same function as we want to draw, like use the function of rectangle or square. Okay, with the place like this. Okay, and then they're going to ask me to specify the height. For wedge function, it's just going to construct a height at one side of the of the uh, of the length here, not on both sides, right? So if my height is 40, for example, so this is the wedge that I'm going to produce by using the function of wedge here. Right? It's very straightforward. Okay. Okay. Okay, next, torus. Torus is basically like a donut shape. Okay, you need to key in like two input. Basically, the radius, the full radius of the torus, and also the radius of the thickness of the torus. All right. So if you click the function of torus, so first of all, they're gonna ask you to specify center point or 3 point, 2 point, or GTR. Then you raise the same function as a circle, right? So if, for example, this is the center point, I just gonna specify the radius of the meter. For example, if my radius is 25, right? Then after that, specify tube radius, right? If my tube radius, for example, is 3, okay? So this is what the end product is going to look like, right? So it looks like a donut with the first value or that we enter is basically the radius of the whole torus, right? It's the middle radius, right? And then they're going to ask you the radius of this tube of the torus. Okay. So this is all the basic shape, okay, that you can directly construct using the function in AutoCAD instead of using a basic fundamental that I explained in my previous lecture. All right. So based on that, you can start building whatever components or parts that you want to draw, especially for your mini project. Okay. Okay. So in this modeling ribbons as well, there's a lot of other function: extrude, loft, revolve, and sweep. I just explained about the function of press pull, but the other function I'm going to explain probably in the next class. Okay, but in this class I'm going to explain a bit more about the like some of the function that you're going to use a lot more in here, right? For example, if you go to the solid editing ribbons in here, right? I believe I already was explained about the solid union, not solid subtract, but there's a function in here. It's called like extract edges. This function you're gonna use a lot. Okay, why you want to use? You're gonna use this a lot. For example, right? For example, let me live with this wedge. Okay, basically for this wedge, right? If you view it using a 2D wave, you're going to see all these lines, right? Basically, this line is not a line. It's just to show you the edge of this 3D object, right? But if, for example, you want to like construct something in here, right? On this plane, let me, let's move it to here, for example, right? But you want to use the line in here as a guide for you, right? But basically, there is no line. If I hide this object, basically, right? If I right click, I isolate it, I type no object. You see, there's nothing in here. Okay, the one that you saw just now is just to show you the edge of this object. There is no lines. But the function of extract edges is basically it's gonna construct individual lines on every edges of this 3D object. Okay. So for example, if I want to extract edges, I want to draw a line on all the edges. I choose this function, extract edges. Okay, select this object, press enter. Okay, now if I click it, as you can see, I have individual lines that has been constructed on all the edges of this 3D object. Okay, so this line you can use it to draw whatever geometry drawing that you want to draw. Okay, that's the function of the extra edges. You're going to use it a lot more, this function. Okay, so that you don't have to construct again according to the dimension of this particular object. You can just extract it and then use it. Example. Okay. Okay. Uh, I believe based on that, I'm gonna concentrate more on some. We're gonna look on some of the exercises, right? Let me start and stop sharing this one first. Okay. Um, okay. Let me start by sharing my screen. Okay. This is one of the exercises that I already provided in my on YouLearn. You can just access it and try it. Okay. Let's try to do this exercise. Okay. By using whatever function they already learned in our previous class and also during this class. Okay. What's requesting to unmute? Okay. Let's try this example. Let me open up a new drawing. Okay. Actually, it's very challenging for me to use like a split screen like this because my workspace is going to be very, very small. Okay. Furthermore, right now I'm using my laptop. The 13 inches display is look really, really small. Okay. So just bear with me. Okay, for this exercise, okay, where should we start, right? Where should we start when we have this kind of mm, object? Okay, so just based on this view, what we can do is we can just start with the base of this object, right? If this is shape, okay, and then we can just extrude a press pull this side to there, and then we can start constructing the poles, the 4 poles, and then we can go up and build the upper parts of this object. Okay, so first we just construct this. Okay, the bottom part. Okay, so if I want to stick my view to this orientation of this object, then if I want to construct this geometry here, this one, right, then I need to use this exact plane as my uh, plane for me to construct the geometry drawing. So this is the plane that I'm going to use. Okay, so I want to change this plane to become my XY plane. Okay, I select this plane first. I go to my coordinates, choose view. Okay, view. Now I change this plane to become my XY plane. I switch on my auto mode, then I can just start constructing this geometry. Okay, this geometry has like a length of 120. Okay, go to draw line here to there 120. Okay, 120 with the height of 15. Oops, 15. Also from here to here is 15 as well. Right? So from here to here is gonna be here to here is let's see. Oh not 120, 120. Oh yes, 120. It is 60. 60, that means it's 30 here and 30 here, right? So it's gonna be draw line from here to here, 30. Same thing from this side, 30. And then it's going up, value of 5. Same thing from here, going up 5. Then I just need to connect this, right? So basically this is the shape, right? The basic yeah. So when I have this shape, then what I can do is I can just go to the modeling ribbons, click press pull, move my cursor so that it detects everything, and then I can just enter and just like extrude it with the value of how much is it? 80. 80. Right? So if you want to look at 3D, then this is it. Okay. Basically, this is the base, right? The bottom part of this object. Okay. Now what you can do is now you can start constructing this circle and make a hole on it, right? So whatever circle that I want to draw, basically I need to know the location of the center point, right? So now if I want to draw this circle on this top plane, so that I have to move my axis here on the top plane here, right? This is the plane, right? And then this is the plane that I want, the top one. Or in here is a back plane up on top of this cube here, right? This is the plane that I want to construct the geometry, right? So I want to make sure that this plane that I want to construct the 2D geometrical drawing to be XY plane. Right now it's an exact plane, so I need to change this plane to become XY plane. So go to coordinates, click view, right? So now this plane has become my XY plane, right? Okay, so now I just need to determine the location of the center point. From here to here is 120. This is 90. That means the balance is 30. That means from here to here is 15, right? 15, 80, 30, 15, 15. So the easiest way is just to draw a line, right? Line from here going there, 15. Going there, 15. Right? So if you look at it like that, right? So the end point of this line is basically the center point of my circle. Now I can just construct a circle, right? Go to draw, circle. This is the center point of my circle with the diameter of 10. Diameter of 10. Okay. Right? So I can just simply delete this line. Okay. So basically there's a circle, right? Okay. So basically I have 4 circles I need to construct, right? So what you can do is just instead of for the circles, you can just copy it, right? You know, the distance from here to here is 50. So just go to modify, copy, circle, enter from here to there, a distance of 50, right? The same thing goes from here to here. The distance between this circle to this circle is 90. So go to modify, copy. This is my object. After selecting my object, I press enter on my keyboard. I choose the center point of the circle as my base point, going there with the distance of 90. Right? So that's my 4 circles. Okay. Based on that, I can go to this modeling ribbon, choose the function of the press pull. Okay. This is object, just drag it to the bottom. Same thing, bottom, same thing to the bottom, same thing to the bottom. Okay, so basically, this is the base, right? Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to construct these top parts, right? So in order for us to construct this, we need to construct this geometrical drawing on here, right? Sorry. Okay, so in order for us to construct this geometrical drawing, we need to select the right plane, right? The right plane for us to construct this, right? So what we can do is the easiest way is just draw like some kind of lines is here. It's a guide. Okay, we know the center point in here is 30 from this. Okay, how much is the distance from this edge to here? We know this the thickness of this of this like a follow, what we call it, follow what? Follow cylinder here is 60. That means from here to here, the distance is 10, right? So what you can do is just construct a line. For me, it's easier for me to construct a line. Let's go from here to here, the distance of 10, and then going there, the distance of 30. Right? So that's the line. Basically the end point of this line is basically this point in here. Okay. So now what I need to do, because I want to construct this geometry, so I need to make this plane is my XY plane. Right? So what I can do is right now I need to move my axis here to this point here. Right? The end point of this line. Okay. So now, right, this is my plane that I want to construct my geometric drawing. That plane, right? So as you can see, if I choose this plane is in an XZ plane. So I need to change it to become my XY plane. Go to coordinates, choose a view, click view. Now I change this view, this plane to become my XY plane, right? So from here, then I can start construct my this geometrical drawing. Okay. So basically, from here going to the top, it has the height of how much? 60, right? So I can start draw, go to line, from this going up, the height is 60, right? Then is center point of this circle here. And then I can construct a circle with a diameter of 50 and diameter of 70. I can start with that. Go to draw, circle, this is my center point, diameter of 50 and also diameter of 70, right? And then for the bottom part, I know the thickness is 10. I have this line. What I can do is I can just offset it, right? Same function that we learned before, offset from the distance of 5 from here, there, here, there, right? So this one I can delete it. This one, right? So I can delete this line as well, right? So what I need to do now, I just need to construct a line to construct the bottom part of this. From here to there. Okay. Then I can just simply trim it using the function of trim. Okay. Trim this. I don't want this one, and also this one, right? And delete these two lines. So basically, this is the basic shape, right, of this. Okay. After I'm done with that, what I can do is go to modeling, press for move my cursor so that it takes everything, click it, and then can just press fully with the amount of 60. Right? If I want to look it clearer. So this is how basically how it looks like, right? Okay, so now what we have left is basically these ribs, right? So how do we construct these ribs? First of all, we need to construct this geometrical object as well in here so that we can press pull it, the same approach. Okay, so in here, what I can do is, like for this case, right? If you look in here, I want to draw something on here, but I believe this object is kind of get in my way. So what I can do is I can just click it and then I can hide this one, hide this object, so that it doesn't interfere with my drawing. That's why the function of hiding the drawing, the one particular object is very useful when you want to construct something like this. Okay, so in order for me to construct this geometry, I need to know where is the plane that I should construct this geometry. Okay, for me right now it's in the middle here, right? In the middle with the distance of 35. I know this point in here. Okay, so what I can do is I can just simply construct a line from here to here to there, the value of 40 to make it in the middle and 35. So the end point here, end point of this line is basically this point here, right? So next, what I can do is I can just move my axis from here to this end point here, right? So now, if I look at here, this is basically the plane I want to construct this on this geometry. So I need to make sure this plane to become my XY plane. Right now is my on my exact plane. I need to change it, go to coordinates, go to view, make view, so that I change it to become my XY plane. So that now I can construct my object and then I can use a function of press pull. Okay, so in order for me to construct this line from here to here, basically I need this line, right? Right, this line, this geometry, I need it. So what I can do is basically I can just like use a function of copy. I copy this geometry to go to that direction, right? So modify, copy, want to copy this and this, right? Enter, this is my base point. I want to copy it with the distance of how much is it? The distance to be in the middle, 30, 30, right? So basically, that's it, right? This is it, right? So what I need to do now is basically go to line, start a line from here to here. So I can delete this line. Oops. I can delete this line, stop this line anymore. Okay, then I can construct a line from here to this, to the tangent. Shift right hand click, just tangent of this. Right? How to see clearly, let's hide this one. Let's hide this object. To isolate, hide the object. Right? So basically, this is the geometry that I wanted, right? It's just geometry. If I want to see clearer, just delete this one first. Okay, so I need to do now is modify, trim this object. I don't want the occupier. Okay, so it just left me with this thing. This is the geometry that I wanted in order for me to construct these ribs. Okay, after that, what I can do is I can go to modeling, press pull, I select this object, I press pull it with the amount of how much is the thickness? 10, right? Because my geometry is in the middle, I can just press pull it 5 to the front and 5 to the back. Press pull it 5 to the front and also 5 to the back. Okay. So if you want to change it to conceptual, this is how it looks like. Okay. So if you want to see all of them together, go to isolate and object isolation. Okay. This is how this object looks like. Okay. So far, is it okay? Should be okay, right? It's very straightforward. Okay. So please remember, when you want to do like whatever geometry drawing that you want to construct in here, is basically you need to, the most important part is you need to choose which plane that you want to construct that geometrical drawing, and make sure that plane is going to be your XY plane. Okay. Sometimes, okay, it's not sometimes, it's all the time, right? Oh, where's my object? This is my object, okay? I'm going to show you, okay? We know that my XY plane is in here, right? So if you want to draw, right? If you want to draw, go up there, right? When you draw this object, for sure this object is going to be on my XY plane, right? But you can also draw the object like this, right? It's going to start in here, go this way, right? So for sure, this object is not on the XY plane, but you can draw it according to the like what we call it, the orientation of this axis. You can draw it also on the Z axis. Okay, if you rotate it, you can see it. Right, this is my XY plane. But in order for you to draw the object for the straight line object, you can do that. Right, you can do that for the other direction as well, according to the orientation of the axis. But if you want to press pull, press pull can only be done on the XY plane. If you choose it here, right, you choose the function of press pull, as you can see, this geometry, it's going to detect everything because it's on the XY plane. But this geometry is not going to be detected if you want to use a function of press pull because it is not on the XY plane. That's why make it a habit. Whatever geometrical drawing that you want to draw, make sure you draw it on the XY plane. I know later on there's some students that are gonna complain that I already draw my geometrical drawing, but when I try to use my function of press pull, I cannot use it. It's not gonna detect it. The main problem, most of the problem that's gonna come with this is because the geometrical drawing that you draw is not on the XY plane. Okay. And one more thing, this is for the straight line, but if you want to draw a circle, right, the circle can only be drawn on the XY plane. If you want to draw it in here, right, the same circle, oops, it's still going to be drawn on the XY plane. It's not going to change the orientation according to the axis. As you can see, okay, right? The direction is going to be, or the orientation is going to be on the XY plane orientation. So be careful with them. Okay, later on when you encounter a problem with this, then make sure. Okay, that's why I want you guys to make it a habit. Whatever geometrical drawing or 2D drawing that you want to draw, make sure it's going to be drawn on the XY plane. If that plane is not on the XY plane, change it to become a temporary XY plane. Okay, how do I know it's a temporary XY plane? If I click a home button here, right? Right now my XY plane is in here, right? As you can see in here, in Compass here, you see the name of this workspace is unnamed because you already changed the orientation of this axis. But if you click it, to my okay. If you there's an arrow on the right hand side of the unnamed, if you change it to become WCS, WCS it stands for World Coordinate System. Is the like the default. the initial one that you choose. You click it in here. Okay. As you can see, the orientation or the orientation of this axis X, Y, Z. This is the original one. Okay. But after you move it around, for example, I will change it to become here, automatically it's going to change unnamed here because your coordinate system is not according to the default one, the world coordinate system, the original one. Okay, so basically the approach is the same like I mentioned in the last class. Okay, try it. Okay, try with all these example of exercises. I believe I already provided with I don't know how many exercises, 19 exercises, 19 objects that you can try and do. Okay, try and do it. Okay, without trying, then you're not gonna know whether you can do it or not. Okay, don't wait until the last minute. Okay. Okay. So I believe that's all I'm gonna explain for this class. Okay. Next week we're gonna cover about this function in the modeling for the extrude, loft, revolve, and sweep. Okay. And then I'm gonna explain how do you convert this 3D object to become an orthographic projection. Okay. Because as I mentioned many times before, for a drafter or a designer, this is not the final object that you want. Okay, the 3D object is not the final object. What we want is basically an orthographic projection. There's a front view, side view, top view, and with all the complete dimension. That's the final drawing that we want. Okay, that's the final drawing that you need to produce. It's not this 3D track. So basically, next week probably we're gonna cover about this modeling function a bit more. Extrude, loft, revolve, and sweep. I'm going to explain what is the difference between extrude and price pool. And then we're going to cover a bit more about the solid editing, including this solid subtract and solid intersect, and some of the function in this modify function, modify ribbons in that. And then I'm going to explain how do you convert this 3D object to become a photographic projection. That's going to be next week. And then I believe the week after that, I'm going to conduct a test 2. Okay, for the test 2, you need to construct a 3D object. Okay, I'm going to explain more about the test 2 next week. Okay, as usual, the next 2 weeks is going to be test 2, but before test 2, I'm going to give you guys with the assignment number 2. For the assignment number 2 as well, you need to construct a 3D object. Okay, the way I'm conducting the assignment is normally I'm just gonna give you assignment like the same week before the exam or before the test, so that at least you have some kind of exercises that you need to prepare or do before the exam. Okay, if not, probably some of the students they're not gonna touch AutoCAD until the very last minute before the test. Okay, so stop sharing.
Sir,
Yes,
how about our proposal yang Sir reject tu?
you dah bagi balik belum? Yang tu dah bagi balik kan?
Yang mana?
Have you given it back the new proposal? Yes, I accept it. I believe I'll put it on Yulen. Okay, you can proceed with it. Okay,
Alright. Okay.
alright.
Thank you, sir.
Any other question, especially regarding the function of AutoCAD? How many of you have already done some exercises? Please do, okay? And then,
Hello, sir.
yes,
Sir, for the exercise on 3D object, the
Mhm.
exercise already been uploaded in Ulearn.
I haven't uploaded it.
Oh, okay.
Let me check it, okay? Check. Okay. Oh, I already put it, but I hide it from you guys. Okay, I unhide it later on. Okay. All right. Any other question? Unhide it later on.
Sir,
Yes.
yang untuk projek kita, kita kena includekan 2D drawing, 3D drawing, orthographic dengan isometric drawing ke?
No. For your project, what you need to do for every component, right? You just need to
Yes.
construct this 3D object. Later on, I'm going to explain to you guys how do you convert this 3D object to become an orthographic projection.
Oh, okay. Ya, so yang 2D yang dekat scope yang saya share tu, dekat bahagian prosedur dia ada minta 2D kan. So yang tu untuk lakaran kasar je bukan yang buat kat AutoCAD.
2D tu yang mana? Kat mana?
Dekat scope orang yang buat prosedur.
Untuk 2D tu basically it includes the geometrical drawing lah masa nak buat 3D ni. Tapi it's more on later on when you convert this 3D object to become an orthographic projection, you have to put in all the dimension as well. Okay.
Okay, so still
So
kena masukkan drawing.
yes, this
Okay.
just so that for your project, for every component, you don't have to construct like a manually the orthographic projection. No, okay, no. Just construct one 3D object like this. Okay. Later on, I'm going to explain how to convert this 3D object to become an orthographic projection. And on that orthographic projection, you include all the required dimensions on that. Okay. So I'm going to explain in next class. Okay. Next lecture, how to convert this 3D object to become orthographic projection. Put it in the title block as well. Okay.
Oh, okay, thank you sir. Tapi sir kan kalau time kita lukis tu kan kita lukis by component. Tapi kalau komponen tu melekat pun kira satu drawing juga kan? Dia tak nak split kan?
Basically, in terms of engineering approach, okay, kalau komponen tu you boleh tanggalkan, separatekan, okay, especially kalau moving components, okay. Kalau satu komponen tu dia stationary, satu lagi moving, is for sure is like gonna be different components. But for your project as well, what I need you guys to do is basically, let me show it, okay. For example, right? For example, if I have, okay, I try to make it bigger. For example, if this is my first component, right? And then I have some kind of shaft. For example, small this. For example, like this. Okay. This shaft should be inside this hole in here. Okay. So in one particular drawing later on, you need to arrange all these what we call it, all these components to be aligned in one axis to show the exploded drawing. You align it everything to become one. All the components. And then you arrange this component. For example, you move this component to be exactly from here, it's supposed to be in there, for example. You need to have this component is attached everything to become one object lah, your final object. That's the drawing I want you guys to construct as well. But it's not constructing, you just rearrange here, you just move it here. Okay, but the most important thing, every component just construct one 3D object. Later on, you just rearrange to become an exploded drawing, and then you rearrange it to become like an assembly drawing. That's what we call assembly drawing. That means all the components is attached together. And the exploded drawing means that you arrange all the document and all the components to be aligned in one axis to show it how, like some kind of process, like how is it attached to become one product. Okay?
Okay, okay. Thank you sir. Selamat Raya.
Selamat Raya. Still Raya kan? Any other question?
Sir,
Yes.
nak tanya, primary kita kena buat dimension untuk produk. Maksudnya saya tak payah kan?
Masa test?
Maksudnya test ke assignment kena tak perlu ke tulis dimension? Maksudnya okay dimension je.
For the test number 2, no, because for test number 2, I'm going to give you all the information and then you're going to construct 3D. Macam, for example, sharing for like this kan, this is a 3D object, right? For the 3D object, you cannot put a dimension on that. Ada orang buat, nobody's put a dimension on 3D object in the real drawing. You can always you put a dimension on the 2D object. If the assignment asks you to construct a 2D object, geometrical drawing, then you need to put a dimension. Okay. For example, for this particular object, 3D object, you need to convert it to become an orthographic projection. You need to convert it to become like a 3D drawing that has like a top view, front view, side view, and then on that, then you put the dimension on, not on the 3D object.
Oh, okay.
Any other question? For those who haven't write your name, your message number and section in the chat box, please do so. Okay. If there is no more question, that's then I'm going to end the class here. Okay. Thank you so much for attending the class. Okay. And put this video online as well. Okay, I'm going to give you guys a link so that you can access the video back for this lecture anytime that you want it. Okay. So thank you so much for attending this class. Please stay safe. Okay. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Uh,